Right, Serenity's my camera lady. Oh, here she is. Camera lady Serenity. Okay. Okay, really what we need to do is, as you, put it over here, Serenity. As you can see, we've already, we've got alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, rag. We're gonna wipe the area really well. Okay. Get any residue that might be on it off of it. The bike's already been washed, but, you know, you can't clean it enough.
You can't be always too careful.
Oh, really? As you can see, it's already got dusty since I washed it. But I'm wiping down everything, so there you go. But what we're doing is just this area right here. And as you can see, it's already evaporated. Okay, as you can see, I've already cleaned it with alcohol. Now I'm spraying it with my soapy water. I'm also going to spray the sticker here with it as well, the back of it. I'm going to stick it on here. We're just going to drop it into place here. Okay, and it's still able to be moved around because that little bit of soap and water. And if I need to pick it up, I can just pick it up and move it. So we got to just position it in the right place. This is how simple this is, guys. Now there, you can see I got my little margin off there a little bit. I'm going to scoot it over. Just going to move it a little bit. I don't know. Drop it back down. See what we got there. Does that look better? Looks better to me. Okay, now look at this, guys. I'm just going to wipe off that water on the residue on the top. Okay, getting all the excess water off because it's pretty much stuck down where I want it to be now. And then I'm going to take my little squeegee right here. Got this from Amazon. It's a little kit for doing vinyl installs. You can see I'm squeezing the water out there. Serenity, I'll do the camera, right? Okay, squeezing the water out, squeezing it across, getting it out. Again, it's already positioned right where it needs to be. I mean, it doesn't take a long time to really figure out where it goes. I mean, you know, it's pretty easy. Nailed it. You know, went ahead and stuck it. There's a little bit of moisture under the edges, you see. Still a little bit of moisture coming out. Hold the camera, Serenity. That's when you get this. This is your heat gun. You put it on the lowest setting. You do not get too close. You keep it off. I like to put my hand down here because I'm gonna tell you something. If you're burning your finger, you're probably gonna be burning this stuff. So don't burn your finger and don't burn the stuff. This will allow you, you can heat it up a little bit more, but you get an idea of just how much heat in one position, place by putting your finger down there. You'll be like, whoa, I need to move that away. I'm getting that plastic too hot. I'm getting my finger too hot. And if you go with that principle and keep it back a ways, keep running your finger over it and pressing the water out, and it'll go right to where it needs to be. All the water will be out. Are you not even filming what I am doing?
Sorry.
Just like a kid with a flashlight. Put that flashlight back where I need it, son. Oh, that's so hilarious. But that's what I used to do when I was a kid, Serenity. That is like a normal thing that kids do when they're in charge of doing stuff. She was filming the bumper, wasn't she, guys? We weren't even working on the bumper. That'll be something next. Okay. There we go. As you can see, it's coming together pretty good here. And I think the next piece is going to be this one down here. You see, it got a little scratch on my bike that was there when I got it. But hey, I'm fixing to cover that right up, so it doesn't matter, right? Okay. Okay, guys. As you can see, we're carrying on with the wrap on the Ryker. I'm just going to do this this air intake. Well, actually, it's the CVT air intake. But we're going to do this ducting right here. And first, I'm going to take a little alcohol to a rag and we're going to wipe it down, and you'll see that that's going to evaporate pretty quickly. I've already wiped the bike down previously with a wet cloth on just this portion that we're going to be wrapping here, because you know, I'm not going to wrap the whole bike today. I'm just doing this little portion. You know, I'm not getting carried away with this wrap. I'm doing a little bit at a time. I'm not a professional wrapper. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, here we go. I'm gonna, wow. I'm gonna do just a little bit at a time. Like I said, I was going to step one, wipe it down, wash it, wipe it down with alcohol, let that alcohol evaporate. You're gonna take a water bottle. I put one little drop of soap in here. You're gonna wet the surface down, okay? I've got the decal right here. I've already set it on the bike and positioned it around a little bit. You're gonna pull it off. I'm gonna spray it also with the soapy water. Lay it on here. Now, it's able to be moved around right now, you know? Bump, bump. So get it right where you want it to be. You gotta move it around a little bit. Sometimes you might have to like totally lift it up. And just like I said last time, you know, I've got it here. I've got it positioned right where I want it. I'm gonna wipe that water off the top, just off the top surface. I mean, there's still water beneath it. I'm just wiping the water off the top of the surface. And it just makes it easier for my squeegee here to operate and get the water out and not be picking up a bunch of extra water. You know, like this corner right here, it's not sticking down very well. And you know, that's one thing about a heat gun. That heat gun will definitely work that there we go, yeah, pushing all that water out. I didn't realize how easy this was to do. Again, I'm not getting carried away with it. I'm doing it slow, but I'm very, very surprised about how easy this stuff lays down. This is the thickest vinyl wrap material that I've ever messed with. I mean, I've done a lot of dirt bike graphics, and when you mess with dirt bike graphics, you'll know that there's some pretty thick vinyl in dirt bike graphics, but this stuff right here, man, it's thick. It's really a strong material. Again, you know, I hold the gun way back here, way far away. Put my hand down on it. If I start warming my hand up, get my hand too hot, I'm definitely getting the material probably too hot. Do not burn your hand putting your hand in front of this thing because you're silly. I mean, come on, we got to use common sense now, you know. Take my squeegee, I'm going to go back over that. Really work on those corners and those edges. Pushing any liquid out. It's a little more pliable now, and because I warmed it up, so it'll go around those corners and those edges even better. You see, I'm still pushing that water out of there. There's still water in there. And on the instructions, if you read them, it'll say, you know, after you do this, don't ride your bike for 24 hours. They want to let that any water evaporate out from in between these things before you go putting the wind to it, and then you get wind up underneath it, and then you may pull it out. You know, so that little piece right there went very easy and very, very quick. That fit perfectly. I'm a little concerned about this portion right here where it says Can-Am. Let's tilt this down a little bit. See where we got this Can-Am? It's risen up. Maybe it'll show through the sticker. I'm kind of hoping for that. Now we have another piece to go right here before we'll put this bottom section. This is a 3-piece application here. You're gonna have the top, the side here, and then the bottom side here. So moving on to the next one. That's gonna be this. And you know, I always take the decal and I put it up in place and see, you know, how's this supposed to lay out? You know, how's this supposed to lay out? As far as the margins and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not even real excited about the margin on this one right here. I'm trying to be, but I can't be too excited about it because I just don't like the way this is. Looks like it's not perfect. Let's see here. So I want that margin to stay pretty consistent down through here. And then look how we're cutting up into here. Let me see if I might be able to manipulate that a little bit. I don't know, it's gonna make it kick up. So, you know what I think I might do is position this on here just like I think. Wow. It's a lot of space there. I don't want a lot of space. I think this is going to require a little heating to manipulate it. So, I know I want this front end to be about right there, and I want this line consistent. And then when I'm gonna work on this right here, and I'm gonna. I really think that needs to be trimmed a little bit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the scissors, guys. I'm gonna get the scissors. These things are supposed to be cut perfectly to fit the bike. Hey, how many things in life have you seen that are perfect? That's all I gotta say about that. Okay, so that being said, man, maybe I got this one up a little bit too close this way, so hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Got a piece of metal stuck in my finger. I thought it hurt. Dig it out. There we go. Oh, that hurt. A piece of metal stuck right in my finger. Ouch. Okay, so I don't think I did that right. So guess what? I'm peeling it up. I'm peeling it up. I'm gonna wet it again. Wetting it again. I'm gonna wet it again over here. I'm gonna scoot it down a little bit. Scoot it down a little bit. Maybe I just had a little position a little bit wrong there. Maybe there was no cutting necessary. Let's reevaluate. See if I can get a little closer to the edge here. This thing actually has a moisture collector on it, so it takes some of that moisture off, you know, just as you're wiping it across it. And that's a little closer to the end here, and it gave me a little bit more space around the edge here. Maybe it'll clean up that margin a little bit. I'm gonna heat this thing up and see what happens. Go ahead and heat it up and get some of that moisture out of there. Okay. I'm gonna try to reposition that other one again. See if it lays out a little bit better this time. Let's see. I'm pretty big. I'm a stickler about these margins being just right. I want these things to lay just right. Where I have a consistent margin there. You see how I kind of want it to lay there. You see how I'm holding it to where I got that consistent margin there. But we're getting a little buckling right here. I don't know how that's going to play. So this is what we're going to do here. We're just going to do it, you know, because hey, What do I know about it? I know I gotta start by peeling the white back off of this. Okay. Lay down some water and soapy water here and same on the sticker. See where this goes, guys. See where this goes. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna scoot this up a little bit. Up a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, I'm gonna do my standard old wipe the moisture off the top. I know I got a gap right here. I ain't even lay it down. Work this a little bit at a time, I think. You know? Work it along a little bit at a time. I'm keeping that margin consistent right here, all the way across here. You see that? I'm holding the end of the sticker out here, and it's sticking to my finger pretty good. And I'm trying to keep this margin consistent right there as I work it around the curvature of this pot or this duct here. It's not sticking down here, but you know what? We're working on this margin right here. This is what's most important at this moment. We're working on this margin right here. Once we get this margin and this margin consistent, then I can come out with that heat gun, and I'm going to add some heat to this. And that's one thing about plastic and these decals. Get out of here, mosquito. You add some heat to them, and then they start getting a little more pliable, and it's going to lay down a little bit easier. It's going to be a little more flexible. Again, you don't want to get too hot with it. You get too hot too quick, and you have a problem. Once you get it a little warm, it starts to conform, you know? It's a rhyme. How cool is that? Get it a little warm, it starts to conform. It'll work its way around the curvatures of the device. It's gonna take a little work for you. You're gonna have to do some manipulating. Don't overdo it with that heat gun. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't overdo it with a heat gun. You can destroy everything, you know. You could really mess something up with that thing. Get right on something. You can definitely, well, there's lots of moisture coming out from under there. I'm squidgying it out. You can see it on the edge right here. You know, that's coming right out of the edge. Definitely want to get all of that out that you can get out. Of course, I'm not done with that heat gun. I'm trying to get it all laid down, and I'm gonna throw some more heat to it to pull some of that moisture out. You know, and this is a big kit. It's got lots of pieces in it. Just because you got a big kit, don't mean you got to do the whole thing. You know, me and my wife was talking about it. I don't think I want to cover up the orange here. I like the orange. I'm going to go above it, below it. I'm probably not going to do these side pieces here. Not all of them. I might even use those side pieces to do something else. Like, that's not even supposed to have it on there. I don't know what I'm doing yet. But I'm not necessarily going to use this whole kit as designed. That's what I'm getting at. Put on what I want to put on to get the effect that I want. That's really all that matters. I get that effect that I want. That margin is very consistent right there. You know, I thought I might have to cut something. I just needed to reposition it. So before you get out of control and you think, oh, I'm going to cut this, you might just need to reposition it. You might need to pull up what you already did and step back and go, okay, well, what if it was over here? You know, and go on to that next thing, you know. So here we go. not looking bad at all. I'm really, really happy with the thickness of these things. I mean, I can show you the thickness, but you're not going to be able to see it. I mean, it's really thick in comparison. I feel like I'm standing in a mosquito nest. I mean, my goodness, they're all swarming around me. Now, I've actually got a protective spray on. You know the name brand. Everybody knows the name brand. You want them to stay? Exactly. So, again, a little concerned about these letters. I mean, I'm thinking the heat gun's going to make the big difference with these letters and heating up around it and allowing it to suck it on down on there for me. So let's do this one more time. This is what we're doing today. We're just doing this one duct. You know, like I said, I'm not getting carried away with this. I'm not gonna make it this big deal. Like, oh, I got to worry about doing that wrap. I'm doing one little section at a time at my speed. And I'm gonna get it done. Okay. Biggest thing again, it's going to be our margin right here between the two graphics. I mean, that's what I look at more. Whoa, that just pulled. That's one thing about having that water under there. I mean, you go pulling on it and it will move on you. So now, on this one, I'm going to do a little bit different, okay? I'll start heating on it up here on this front. Ain't always going to just go just that easy and that simple. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit of a fight with it. Again, I've got my margin very consistent right there. That's what I want to hold to. Do a little bit of squeegeeing on this front end. Do a little bit of heat on this front end. You can see how I'm heating it up and I'm stretching the graphic and I'm keeping that margin consistent as I'm doing it. Now some of these graphic kits, you cannot heat them up and stretch them because of the pattern. Okay, some graphics, the pattern on it isn't going to be affected by stretching it a little bit to manipulate it to the surface. You know, it depends on what your graphic is that you're working with. But with something like a flame, it is not a set pattern, so you can manipulate it. You can stretch it a little bit, keep that same consistent line running around there. You can do that with something like this. Some other patterns, you will not be able to get away with that. It doesn't care. It will show big time. Like carbon fiber, for example. If you have a carbon fiber pattern, it's a consistent checking, consistent looking check pattern. And if you stretch that, you're going to throw the pattern off. So some things you cannot stretch, you cannot manipulate. I was hoping I'd be able to see it risen up, showing the actual Can-Am, but it is not showing through. That's kind of a bummer. I was hoping it would show through. But the key to this wrapping your own bike, I have to say, is don't get carried away. Don't rush yourself. Take your time. Taking your time on stuff is it's kind of important. Some things take time, guys. Some things take time. So in something like a wrap, don't feel like you got to do it in a day. You do it in a day, you're probably going to rush yourself. You're probably going to be like, yeah, it looks okay. And then you'll be down the road going, gosh, I wish I'd have just took a little more time on that, because I'm not actually happy with my end result. It's all coming up here. It's all coming up there because I didn't clean it well enough. Or, you know what I'm saying, guys. I will definitely say you do not have to be a professional to do this. You just have to be aware of what you're doing. Don't rush it. Read the directions. Go to YouTube, watch other people do it. That's one of my biggest trainers out of all these years is other people being able to help me learn something new. I mean, it's been so important with my business. I mean, I've watched so many fabricators teaching me how to manipulate metal, how to cut metal, how to weld metal. And, I'm glad I had those guys on YouTube. I was thinking about something the other day, like origins of things and how easy information comes to us nowadays and how hard it was when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, we had encyclopedias, and that's how we got all of our information, was reading it from a book. And I'm gonna tell you something. Today, if I have a problem with something, I can look it up pretty quickly and have many different sources to look at the information from. Back in the day, it was just those those world book encyclopedias that I had. That was it. So whatever world book says is what you knew, and that was the only opinion too. So you got a source of information from. Nowadays, you can find everything. For example, on this, you can definitely find people showing you how to wrap your own bike. There's going to be lots of places out there with people trying to help you out, like I am. So, I'm still not happy with it. I still feel like it needs to be heated a little bit more. Heated and manipulated. pressure on it right there for a second. Press down on it. Overall, this is turning out looking really good though. Again, I hate how that Can-Am is not standing up. Might get a decal that sits on top of that goes on top of here, because I kind of like the way that looks with the Can-Am on it. All right, guys. That didn't take long to do those 3 sections. I mean, again, I said don't rush yourself. Take your time. Do it at your own speed. But look how long it took me to do that. Again, I still see a little bit of buckling up right there that I've been working on. And maybe I have to work on it for a few more minutes, guys. But really, I mean, you saw how quickly this came together. I mean, don't be intimidated. Check out the website. Look at the AMR graphics kits that I got. And there are more options. There are more options on AMR if you want to look at them on AMR. They won't show you pictures of all of them on the bikes. They'll just show you different options. It'll be like on the side of a dirt bike fairing, and they'll show you that graphic idea, and that can be put over onto the Ryker graphics as well. So they have many different options, and I can get any of those for you and invoice you through RLSexhaust.com. Wow, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Again, I'm not going to do too many more things in this wrap. Right here. You know, I'm probably going to do these and this all around the neck right here, and I'm probably going to do this down here because the guy that had it for me put his boot on the thing. It looks like quite a few times and scratched it. So I think that would add to cleaning out the appearance of the bike. I might go as far as to add these pieces right here too, but I don't think I'm going to do the lower section of the bike. I just don't think I'm going to do it. Again, I might get to that point and be like, oh, I've got to do that and I've got to do this. I don't know. You know, right now, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. All right, guys, you have a good day. And you know, I'm probably not going to continue filming the rest of this wrap. So if you have any questions, comments, go ahead down below and tell me what you think about the wrap, about doing it yourself, if you're worried about doing it, and if so, what worries you? I mean, you saw that, you know, I didn't position this right. I peeled it off and put it right back on there. You know, don't be worried. You know, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. You know, so you have a great day. Okay, guys, moving on to the next section. I just wanted to show you all that in this section, I didn't want to take off this guard to put the graphics on. So the old scissors, they came in handy because I just cut that piece off and then it fits perfectly, just like I want it to. So here we go. I'm gonna spray a little bit of water here. Hit the back of the graphic. Okay. About a 1/8 of an inch gap between this graphic and the upper graphic. I want that line right there to be consistent all the way along. About 1/8 of an inch. I want it to be right here at the front. So, wiping it off. Move that out of the way. Whoops, sorry about that. I got this margin pretty good here. You know, this is a curved piece, So I'm gonna go ahead and get in with this heat gun. Throw some heat to it. Pushing it down lightly with my hand. There's still bubbles on the edge here, and there's some moisture underneath it. We just gotta work it along in the edge, not getting it too hot, and using your hand to press it down. Now I like to use my hand because I can feel, you know. I'm not saying don't use the squidgy. I'm fixing to use the squidgy right now, but I like to use my hand. My hand allows me to feel it, and I can, you know, run along that edge and feel what I'm feeling and know what I'm feeling and like what I'm feeling, and you know what I'm saying. But you see how easy that went, guys. Oh man, come on. Did you say you use a wrapper? I think everyone's a wrapper now. I think you can be, if you want to be, you can be. You can do it. I know you can. Oh, I wasn't saying a word, was I? I was thinking about things. I wasn't saying a word. Sometimes I do that. Keep my mouth shut. It's very, very rare. It's kind of like seeing a Yeti, or maybe a Bigfoot, or a Loch Ness Monster. Rarely do I keep my mouth shut. Oh my goodness. At least I know who I am and how I am. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. Others do, you know. That's on my friends list of short, guys. Yep, I am who I am. Okay. Let's do one more my hand. Oh, unplug the thing. Get a little more extension cord here. There we go. Yeah, I was tearing it down over here. Yeah, pretty much nailed that 1/8" gap there. Ooh, getting it hot. Getting it hot. Hope she don't catch on fire just like it looks. Ah! Get the fire extinguisher. That could happen. This heat gun. Gotta be careful with this bad boy. Well, you know, here we go. I still think I'm gonna add a couple more pieces. I just don't know. I'm not sure. What are y'all thinking so far? I mean, it's pretty good. Digging it. It's pretty good. A little more to go. A little more to go, guys. Definitely. Well, we're going to do it step by step. I'm going to walk you through the paces here. And y'all tell me what you think. Would you never put a wrap on your bike? Are you the paint type of a guy? I mean, I'm going to tell you something. I paid for that airbrushing on 2 of my bikes. And they look beautiful. Oh man, did they look beautiful. I mean, people are still talking about those bikes. Every who's got them now, believe me, people are going on and on about how they looked. So I'm down with airbrush, believe me. You know, my airbrush paint job looked better than this graphics, there's no doubt. I mean, the guy was a real artist. But this is coming together pretty good, and I'm digging it. You know, some people might not like these little margins between the graphics here, but you know the key to that is if you do this graphics kit yourself, make the margins the same. Keep it consistent. If you keep it consistent, where you've got that 1/8 of an inch line, you know, whatever that distance is that you say is your margin, if you keep it consistent, man, you keep it looking good. You know, you see that, guys? I'm about to get me a new shop. Oh, I'm so excited. Good things to come. I'm gonna take this and put it in a dumpster. I ain't even playing, guys. I ain't even playing. But hey, one step at a time. That's how you have to take it. Just like I'm taking this graphics kit. One step at a time. Don't get carried away. If you buy one of these, you decide to try to take on this task, you know, one step at a time. Do a little bit here, do a little bit there. Yeah, it's working out great. Don't be intimidated, guys. I mean, I'm no professional rapper, like we've already talked about, but look how clean this is turning out. And you saw how easy I'm doing it. I mean, it's not hard to do. You don't have to have a heat gun. This is a heat gun, you know, and a squeegee, a pair of scissors if you plan on cutting something, some alcohol, and a squirt bottle. You know, that's all you need. And the kit. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I really wish that Can-Am was standing out there on the surface. That would look great if it had Can-Am on that. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna have to remedy that. I think on Etsy there's some guy that's got some really cool graphics. I'm gonna check him out. All right, guys, y'all have a great evening, and hey, be brave, be bold, enjoy the ride.